Thank you. I'm going to keep him around for bad days. I would like to start, if my fellow graduates could rise, please, and thank these fabulous people for sacrificing so much for us and joining us in D.C. this weekend. Hello, everybody. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to share with all of you this special celebratory moment. So, a few months ago, as I stared at Facebook, cramped in a Gelman corner, as I'm sure many of you have, a close friend of mine sent me a YouTube video about jelly beans. Now, I'm not normally one for YouTube, and I never really eat jelly beans, but he pulled an insist, so I watched. The video began with a pitch-black screen, into which entered a small-statured man holding a brown box filled with 28,835 jelly beans. Curious, I pressed on. Those 28,835 jelly beans, the narrator told me, represented the average number of days the average American will live. He dumped the box and spread the multicolored assortment all across the floor. 28,835 beans. My life. Who knew? I was informed that 1,635 of those days, or beans in this case, would be spent eating, drinking, or preparing food over the course of a lifetime. 564 beans dedicated to caring for others. 3,202 beans spent working, or as he put it, doing something you love. After calculating the number of beans it would take to accomplish all the other tasks of life, he left me with 2,740 beans for, quote, laughing, swimming, going on hikes. 2,740, he said. What will you do? What would you do differently if you had only half of those beans? I was taken aback. What was I going to do with my extra beans? Had I been wasting any number of my 28,835 jelly beans? And then I realized something. As a liberal arts American studies student, we're always challenged to think critically about moral and ethical issues, about lives unlike our own, about how power and privilege operate in our society. I identified a flaw. The video only talked about my jelly beans. What about everybody else's? Do most people spend 1,600 of their beans enjoyably eating? 3,200 doing something they love? If most people do in fact have 2,700 beans left for laughing, swimming, hiking, do they really get to spend it at their leisure? See, this jelly bean index, what I consider to be a cute but relatively forgettable representation of my life, revealed much more about the way our world is structured, about the unequal amount and imbalanced distribution of jelly beans than initially bargained for. How many jelly beans do I get with all my attendant privileges as a white, able-bodied, English-speaking male? Privileges that allow me to stand up here today before all of you delivering remarks about a jelly bean YouTube video. This story is actually one about the 1 in 4 Hispanic individuals living in the United States below the federal poverty line. Are 3,200 beans spent performing work they love to do? When young gay African-American men who become sexually active by the age of 18 have a 60% chance of becoming HIV positive before the age of 30, and our public healthcare system fails them, it seems to me like some people have more, or at least have more control over their jelly beans than others. It's a story about how the U.S. deported almost 400,000 individuals in 2013. Our lives mangled due to a broken immigration system afforded the same 564 beans for attending to others' needs. When states like North Dakota and Arkansas attempt to restrict women's reproductive freedom by legislating the womb, are women able to live to their fullest those extra 2,700 beans? An estimated 30 to 40% of LGBT youth have attempted suicide. For them, it's not even a question about how to spend their 28,835 jelly beans. But It's also a story about our success, one about President Barack Obama, the nation's first of many black and minority presidents, about the Hillary Clintons and Harvey Milks, about the four-ride drivers who spend a lot more than the average number of beans working to ensure our safety on campus, even when many of them work more than one job just to satisfy the demands of life. It's about a personal role model, the first openly gay elected Pennsylvania State Representative, Brian Sims, whose political agenda focuses not merely on ensuring equality for LGBT Pennsylvanians in the workplace, where we can still get fired for being gay, or at the altar, where our relationships are still considered less than our heterosexual friends and families, but also on reproductive rights. Representative Sims just received the 2013 Champion of Choice Award from NARAL, a women's reproductive justice organization, for his consistent dedication to ensuring reproductive rights. A gay man fighting for women's reproductive rights. Now that is some kind of way for a gay man to spend his jelly beans. And what if, instead of spending only 564 of our beans attending to the needs and well-being of others, we spent 1,000? What if each one of our beans mattered as much as our neighbors, as the person sitting next to you, or down the aisle, or on the other side of the globe? What a beautiful, fulfilling, possible world. And as much as I appreciated President Obama's "Yes, we can" mantra in the 2008 elections, it foregrounds what we can do instead of what we will do. I want to reflect as a generation in 10 years and look back and say, yes, we did. Yes, we did mend a broken immigration system and celebrate all the authentic ways people love themselves and one another. Yes, we did ensure reproductive justice for women and girls all over the globe and provide universal health care. Yes, we did say enough is enough to unchecked corporate political influence and protect the environment. Yes, we did start prioritizing the needs of others above our own. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Congratulations to the class of 2014. Go forth and share your jelly beans.